a new path and teasers for the next region. Well, pretty much the next planet, but we've been to multiple planets already in a single patch. Anyway, pretty much we're getting into 3.0 stuff for Honkai Star Rail, and that is awesome. But first, before we even get into that, which is a tiny bit weird how they're doing it, we have the Herta. Yes, I know it's a bit of a weird name, but it does make sense because this is the actual original version of Herta. Also, we have, I don't know how to pronounce that, Aglia? I think I'll call her Aglia until we get the proper pronunciation. Maybe there is one somewhere, but yeah. And Remembrance Trailblazer. Is this the first time they actually did a drip marketing for a Trailblazer form? Because I find this to be quite surprising. Mainly because it's a drip marketing, but, you know, there's also the new path of Remembrance. Now, Remembrance has been in the game for a while, but this is actually the first time we'll finally see a playable character from it, which is actually quite exciting, because, like, the Remembrance has had quite a bit of focus in the game, you know, with the memo keepers. Black Swan had a huge focus in Penacony and the whole memory thing. We also have a memo keeper on the Astral Express with like one of the endgame modes that is in which it is used. Plus, Herta seems to be taking an interest in the Remembrance because of the new area, Amphorius. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting because this already is leading up to be a very, very good, like, overall patch, like region slash planet slash whatever you want to talk about it. And I will be talking about it more in because there was a teaser for Amphorius, and oh boy, if you've played Honkai Impact 3rd, I think you're going to have flashbacks to quite an interesting arc from there. Personally, I haven't played Honkai Impact 3rd, but I have a friend who really loves that game and who knows quite a bit about the lore. You know, not very extensive, but more than enough to actually make me quite interested in it. But yeah, let's actually go on over the characters, because that's why we're here. We're here to take over a look at their design and the little blurbs that we get before the proper release. The Herta it's interesting. What would the extraterrestrial satellite communication really mean? Because everyone gets that in the name. Oh! Never mind. How does this work? So this is Amphorius Saga of Heroes, and this is intertwined Star Rail navigation. I should actually take a look at previous drip marketings to see what names they had depending on where they're from. So, the writers from the Intelligentsia Guide wanted to give me an extra title, something like Herta Prime, to separate me from my puppets. How banal. Are the puppets not me as well? So I gave them a suggestion. If they dared to write that, then I would call myself the Herta. It's short, simple, straight to the point, and elegant. Esteemed member number 83 of the Genius Society. Human, female, young, beautiful, attractive. It's said that she lives in the far edge of the cosmos, almost never leaving. Sounds like her appearance this time must be to deal with an issue that has to be handled herself. Right? Ooh. I wonder if this description is done by herself, or if someone else is calling her this one young, beautiful, attractive. Like, is she describing herself, or is this written by someone else who's writing about the members of the Genius Society, which in and of itself is quite an interesting group for the game, as we see with Dr. Primitive how he can be pretty much a villain. Anyway, the key that she has in here, like, it's a key, and it looks a lot like, I don't remember, was it the erudition path that had the keys as upgrades for the character, which is really cool because she's an emanator. So if you guys didn't know, Herta is an emanator of erudition, and we also have another emanator with Acheron. Does Acheron have the upgrade material in her design? That'd be so cool if a way to identify emanators is if you can actually see the character level up material for the specific path within the design of the character that's the emanator. Anyway, she has a very witchy feel because of the hat, but I am kind of surprised in a way But then again, when you think of a witch, you could also think about knowledge from hundreds of years ago, pretty much, and how mainly women who tried to become like doctors and stuff like that back in the medieval times were hunted as witches because of them having supposedly unworldly knowledge. So I guess it kind of makes sense one character that's all about knowledge and furthering, the world and inventions would have a witchy vibe if you really want to go for a more obscure reference to what witches, technically were back in the day. And then again, the key is the erudition level up material. That's like a perfect, in my opinion, a perfect design choice. Interesting with the mirror and the clock design in the background. I guess it might be a reference to Amphorius, if my theory is correct. But again, leading into Wonga Impact 3rd. But yeah, a really, really cool character, but personally, I will be holding off for future Amphorius characters after I get my E1 Firefly, though, and to see their full designs and kits. Like, she looks cool, but it's not like it doesn't give me vibes of, yes, I do want to pull her, But yeah, I really like the design. Now for Aglia. Empress Saga of Heroes Aglia. O noble guest from afar, the wind brought me news of you along the golden threads. My name is Aglia, the dressmaster of Okhema, and one of the Empress's Chrysos heirs. I hope we treat each other with honesty. Aglia, weaver of gold. In that holy city kissed by the dawn, the weaver caresses the golden thread and connects destiny. Aglia, the gold weaver, the Chrysos heir bearing the core flame of romance. You shall summon the heroes of this world and lead them to once again embark on an endless journey, where they will smite down the gods, return the divine fire, and grant rebirth to the dying land of Amphorius. City Okhema, divine authority, Menestia Chrysalis of gold. What divine authority? Is this like the name of the... Okay, the whole lore with Amphorius is a bit weird. I would kind of have to get a look into that. Also, I now realize there's like two like puppet looking things, but then again, she does weave threads of fate, so I wouldn't be too surprised if she's sort of a puppet master. Her design is also very reminiscent of Himiko, weirdly enough, like her dress and the fact that she's dressed in mainly white with accents of the color that she represents, here being gold. Quite interesting, and I do wonder if Himiko will end up having something to do with this. And also, she is a Remembrance character. Now, I do wonder what Remembrance will be as a whole archetype, right? Because, we have Erudition, who is mainly focused on AoE, for example. Destruction, who's all focused on, like, not single target necessarily, but, like, high damage. Hunt is focused on single target, for example, or on single target to DPS. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how Remembrance is going to end up being. I wanted to say that maybe it's going to be the summoning class per se, like it works with summons, but there's already a bunch of characters that have summons. Like you could put technically Clara in there if you really want to put Svarog as a summon. You have you have Jingyuan, which I think technically it counts as a summon. You have the bunnies from Linksha, who are all characters of different elements, but already you have other characters that can do things and are not necessarily on their path, like a healer that's not on the path of abundance, for example. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially since I've heard something about an artifact set that does buff summons, and I think something Sunday does that as well, so that's going to be interesting to see. Design wise, again, she gives me like, oh hey, this is a goddess from ancient Greece vibe, and I think the whole Amphorius, from the name of like the planet pretty much, is going to be all about Greek mythology, like Greek/Roman mythology. So that's going to be really, really cool. We've kind of seen a bit of that in Genshin with with the last Fontaine area, the underwater one, where a lot of it was based off of Greek mythology and Greek designs. So it's going to be cool to see that it done in a much grander scale in a way within Honkai Star Rail, because they're going to be able. Remember Belobog and how much grander in scale it looked compared to every other city from Genshin, because they were able to work on the backgrounds. That's going to be Amphorius. It's going to be you know, the Greek inspired areas from Genshin, but on crack pretty much. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. Again, a character I'm not really too interested in pulling, because I'm saving for future ones, or for her rerun if none of the future ones actually do interest me. But you cannot deny that the designs from Star Rail are really, really good. Like, seriously. And I know I do repeat myself every time, oh, like, this design is really good, but there are. Then again, I don't have too high standards when it comes to character design, but anyway, that's besides the point. I will be talking a bit more about Amphorius and the whole, like, connection to Honkai Impact 3rd a bit later in a different video, so yeah, if you do want to see that, I do recommend subscribing. But before I finish the video, we also have to take a look at the first ever, I think, the first ever Trailblazer drip marketing. Because the Fire Trailblazer was not drip marketed from what I can recall, because it was supposed to be a surprise. It was a surprise when, you know, you went ahead and took the lance. Same with the Harmony Trailblazer, with the Imaginary Trailblazer. I'm very surprised that the Remembrance Ice, so it's Remembrance Ice Trailblazer, has already been drip marketed. So does this mean we'll get the Remembrance Trailblazer in 2.8? Or will there not be a 2.8 and the game and the 2.x era is finishing at 2.7? Because 2.7 is a couple days away. We're going to have Sunday and Fugwe. Was Fugwe the name of the Tingyun, the 5-star Tingyun? I think so. And then it would be 2.8. But since we got you know, Aglia, Herta, and, you know, Trailblazer drip marketing, it feels like it's going to go straight into 3.0, or 2.8 is going to be the prelude to Amphorus. I guess that could work, as we would go through maybe Herta's area, like some areas with the Herta, right? And then Aglia just comes in around the end, like the second half of the patch, around the end of the patch, and says, please come to Amphorus, we need your help. Anyway, Intertwined Star Rail Navigation, Trailblazer Remembrance, Travel. I like with you together. That sounds weird. The Trailblazer sets sail towards the unknown alongside their newest companion, Mem. They will record the adventures and stories they experience in Amphorus, and memories will also flourish eternally, paving the path for the journey ahead and recording glorious sagas. This whole talk of memories is giving me a very bad vibe. I think it might be just, you know, thinking back on Penacony and how that went down. Anyway, really cute little companion. Again, the Trailblazer doesn't really change in design. They mainly get a new weapon, and this time we get another little companion. So that's quite interesting, because both the Harmony Trailblazer and now the Remembrance Trailblazer are going to have a companion within their kit, right? Preservation Trailblazer didn't. The Trailblazer just got a huge lance, fiery lance. But now with you know, with Harmony we got Clocky, and now we're getting Mem. That does make sense with naming wise. You know, Clocky, you know, Clock, the main sort of mascot of Harmony in a way, and then Mem Remembrance. Oh my god, that's so simple yet effective. Anyway, yeah, not much to say, but I really like how the background looks. It gives off, as I said, the vibe of Greek/Roman mythology, with all the columns and whatnot and the stairs. But I do find it interesting how the petals are pink. Maybe we'll have some Japanese inspiration within this Greek area. That could be interesting to mishmash like two pretty much entirely separate cultures in one. Huh. Or at least the designs of those cultures. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, but yeah. This looks really cool. I'm again curious to see the kit, but most likely it's going to be as if Remembrance is indeed summoned creature, like summoning creatures into turn order to do stuff. It's most likely going to be summon. Also, so Preservation main character is a shielder. Destruction is the main DPS. I totally forgot about Destruction. Destruction also doesn't get a summon, and Harmony is a support. I wonder if Remembrance will be another support, but I guess with the fact that it's a feather and a book pretty much, I think Remembrance Trailblazer will be indeed a support, but could also go back as a sub DPS or main DPS, because technically we only have one main DPS path for the Trailblazer, because yeah, there's Destruction as a main DPS, Preservation as a shielder support, Harmony as a breaking support, and now it would be either another main DPS or another support, but supporting for summoning teams, which is interesting because unlike the Traveler, the Trailblazer is pretty freaking good. Because, you know, Destruction Trailblazer is good for early game DPS. Preservation Trailblazer is good if you don't have a shielder or a good healer. Harmony Trailblazer is pretty much one of the best supports for any form of super break team. And who knows, maybe we'll now see one of the best supports, and another time the Trailblazer is going to be a staple as a support in another team archetype. It's quite cool to see the main character getting actual love, unlike Genshin. Anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway, if you did enjoy watching this video, why not leave a like, comment, or even subscribe? I want to thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you all in the next one.